Okay, so part two of my Vegas Dead & Company Sphere weekend. So I left off last time. I'd been up for over 24 hours. Tables were getting cold, not turning my way. Good sign to go back to the room and crash out. We were staying at the Desert Inn Resorts. It's like condos right off the strip, but close enough where we were walking to the strip. You could see the Sphere right from our window. Cool place to hang out and stay. But when we checked in, you check in and give all your information, you pay and everything, and then you're gonna go to this other desk to get your key, where they try to sell you on timeshares. It's like, okay, so this is what this is, but still a cool place for a couple days. So we wake up in the morning and we're basically in a condo with some pizza that we had door dashed and beer in the fridge and all the NCAA March Madness on TV. So perfect scenario for a really lazy morning. Then, until we get a hold of Bill, we're gonna meet Bill for lunch. So we go over to Nobu, the Nobu Hotel where his friend David's staying, and we go to lunch in this nice little Italian place down there where Bill brings his own bottle of wine. So we're like kind of in an old-timey place. And we're ordering food and wine, and with the wine that Bill brought, we all have 2 glasses and we're doing pairings and stuff like that, which is really cool, really nice, fun thing to do if somebody else is leading the way on that. So we leave those guys, Tara and I. We're going to go to the show that night. Those guys have a table reserved at Omnia, the nightclub. That's their thing. And our plan, we brought clubbing attire, so to meet up with them after the show. So Tara and I go, have another great day in Vegas, bouncing around. Tara and I always love going to Vegas with Tara because I think we're a good team in terms of we keep each other in check. The whole goal is just to have fun. You don't want to be chasing losses. You don't want to it's so easy to get your soul ripped out of you in Vegas and go down the wrong path. So I think we do well. If things are going bad, one of us will recognize it and take a break. Let's go get a bite to eat, or if we're riding some, we just make sure we're not flying too close to the sun. It's another great day, doing all that stuff, and towards showtime. We go to the Venetian and we have some light dinner and some cocktails at where all the gondolas are going by, and we don't have tickets for that night. We're just gonna kind of play it by ear. Before the show, the night before, I was kind of looking on StubHub and saw that tickets were really cheap around showtime, so I thought I'm gonna do the same thing. But so I end up as we're on our way to go to the show, I look at Game Time, Ticketmaster, StubHub, and all the tickets are pretty much face value. There's really no crazy deals. Okay, this is what tickets are. So I buy tickets, and we head to the show. And as we're getting towards the gate, the tickets that I bought aren't pulling up. They're not. I don't have access to them, and I can't figure out why. Until I realized, oh shit, I bought tickets for Saturday night, not Friday night, by mistake. And we're leaving the next day. We're not going to be going to the Saturday night show. Fuck. So I'm in the middle of scrambling to try to get tickets for that night. But here's the kicker: I had that bag of mushrooms left over that we were eating from the night before, and there were still some scraps and stems and stuff in there. And so what I thought I would do is eat all those mushrooms, and I did that later, a little while earlier before we headed over. So thinking I would just be microdosing tonight. And the scraps compared, it wasn't a lot compared to the original bag, but on its own, it was still probably enough. And so not only do I have the tickets for the wrong night, and now I'm going to try to I got to scramble and get tickets for this show, I'm already starting to come onto mushrooms, more so than I thought I was going to be able to. And I have to tell Tara, you got to bear with me for a second. She's like, are you fucking kidding me? Lucky for me, in our 26 years together, Tara has never once thought to herself, the reason I love Liam is because he never does dumb shit. Because if that was ever the case, like, I'd have been asked out. Like, now, I don't think she's pro dumb shit. It just has never been a deal breaker so far. So here she's like, I can't believe this. Okay, so but I managed to get this done. I buy tickets for tonight's show, and we go in. I'm not getting worried about getting rid of those tickets till tomorrow. That's putting that out of my mind. And I was able. The next morning, I like, oh god, I gotta take those tickets, and I sold them for what I paid for them. So that was kind of a wash. So lucky there. So we go into the show, and we're on we're in the 200 section this time, and way out kind of off to the side, where I can see the screen like really close to and I can see the nuts and bolts of it. As I'm like, oh man, I hope this doesn't take me out of it. It's gonna be kind of weird with the screen, but I can, but I can see, the panels put together and stuff like that. And I was starting to trip like this. Oh, that's gonna, but it never was. It never was. I didn't even think of it until I saw a selfie that Tara and I took, and where I could see the screen right there. And I was like, oh, that's right. I was gonna worry about that, but I never did worry about that. So, night 2 show, cold rain and snow opener. Married me a wife, she's been in trouble all my life. Yeah, ironic there. In a shakedown street for the takeoff out of Haight-Ashbury again. And then a whole new set of graphics, like all different shit. They play during Tennessee Jed. It was like we're in a coloring book, and they played Lay Down Sally, which was silly. Eric Clapton, it's silly when he plays it. It's JGB was always silly, and this was like, oh, this is what you guys are doing. They busted that out for the first time. Sugary closer for the first set. John Mayer kills that. Second set opened with Uncle John's band, which was probably some of my favorite graphics. It was when all the spinning dancers were on the stage, and I put a little video of that on one of my TikToks, just like that. That was great. And Estimated Eyes, just like great combo back in the Grateful Dead days. And Eyes was just incredible. It was like we're in a whole big old-timey fair with all the different shooting gallery stuff, but it was all psychedelic dead shit. And into St. Stephen, bam. And drums in space. Now, I took off during drums, and one thing I noticed about the Sphere in the 200 section was it was a lot more packed out in the lobby, and maybe there was more people there that night, but down the 100 section, I think the lobby and the bathrooms and the concessions were just dealing with the floor in the 100 section, and I think the one up there was dealing with the 2, 3, and 400 section. So it was just a whole bigger process during set break and drums in space. That was something I did notice. But anyway, navigate all that. Drum space into Wharf Rat, which is fine, into U.S. Blues, and that was when then we got the same the skeleton guy coming out of the grave and riding his motorcycle through the strip. That's always, I guess that's going to be a staple there, and that was fun. U.S. Blues was perfect for that too. And then we did the landing during Throwing Stones, and it was a great Throwing Stones because my brothers texted me later that night they must have found a video of it or something ooh, feisty Throwing Stones tonight. Yeah. Bobby was like, "Call goddamn government today," and pants are down, his cover's blown. He was really into it, and we landed the Sphere back in Haight-Ashbury again. Did that, and then closed it off with Casey Jones, which was really fun and apropos. It was awesome. So great show. Head back to get into club attire to meet those guys at Omnia. Tara's like, I'm done. She's been a trooper all week. She had to start dialysis when we got back, and her kidneys are failing, and we're gonna enjoy this trip as probably one of our last like this for a while until we get our new kidney. But so she's like understandably, I'm done. So I'm gonna go up Omnia and meet up with those guys. And because I'm not really a nightclub guy, but they are, and so anyway, changing the club attire, go down there. I'm supposed to look for Bill at table 3, so I go to the door. I'm here to see Bill at table 3, and I go inside, kind of not knowing what to expect, and it's loud AF and dark and and I thought they're just like there won't be a whole lot of tables I'd just be able to see, but there's there's tables, like booze, I guess is what it is, and so I can't find them, and I can't hear it. So like I go on my phone and just when you go on a Facebook post, but you can have the black background in big white letters. I did a Facebook post that just said table 3 ? And was holding that up and just showing bouncers huh? And they kind of point to and I couldn't understand a word they were fucking saying. So I just kind of go in the direction until I'd find somebody else to do the same thing. And then I was able to find those guys. Found the table, little bartender there at the table, make me a cocktail. And so there I am at Omnia. Electric dance music, really loud. Hang out there for a little bit, did a little Molly, just kind of get into the feel of things, and that was that thing. No, I'm not one to yuck on people's yums, but this environment was not made for me. But there I was, getting to check it out. The whole place is, I have daughters in their 20s, and it was full of young girls in their 20s, and guys like us, I guess. So I hang out there and do this for a little while. They're okay, cool. Good to see you guys. Thanks for this hookup, and I peaced out. So I went back out on the strip, found myself a cigar, and what I think I like to do is I got a cigar. I like to find an empty bank out of the way of slot machine or a video poker machine, and just hang out by myself, far away, smoke a cigar, and run $20-$40 through a machine for just as long as that lasts. And that's what I did. I was in my zen. The last time I was in Vegas doing that, it was kind of a pain in the ass, because you'd have the ladies of the night come, you're sitting at a slot machine away from everybody else, and then a young woman would come sit at the one right next to you and get very interested in the $375 you just won. Oh, good for you. Oh, fuck. Just annoying, It's when you're, I'm all good with, adults doing whatever they want to do, but it's you're at home on a Sunday afternoon watching football, and the local church comes by and wants to, invite you to their picnic or whatever. I guess that's a hot take, that the hookers in Vegas are kind of like your local church coming to on a Sunday. But anyway, that was they must have gotten rid of that or something. That was not an issue. In the early aughts, I remember always being annoyed by that. But no, nothing like that. By myself. Every now and then a cocktail waitress would come by. That's all I want. So that was just a great way to wind down that evening. And made it back late that night. And crashed out. And then wake up next day to do it again, except for we were not leaving. We were leaving we had a 6 o'clock flight. So we get up, we're having another lazy morning, and what time checkout is? And I was thinking probably around noon, and I'm like, oh shit, it's 10:30, and it's 10 o'clock in this morning. Fuck, I should have looked at that beforehand. So we scrambled, we get our shit together, we leave our bags at the front desk. They're gonna hold them for us, and then we just gonna go have an afternoon in Vegas, kind of doing the same thing. Today we went fancy. We got some In-N-Out burger out there in Vegas. That was nice, because us Midwesterners don't get to do that often anymore. And there's another one. I was kind of in Vegas mode. I was getting drinks. Tara's we have to get on a plane at 6 o'clock. So stayed in check for the most part, but did get out to the airport, and by the time I got on the plane, I was after the 3 days, everything kind of came crashing down, and I was just I raw dogged it on that flight. Couldn't listen to anything, couldn't watch anything. I just sat on the plane for 4 hours. I don't really sleep on planes, but I think I did kind of in and out of sleep a little bit on this one, and just that was that. One of the best Vegas trips I've had ever. Vegas is a dangerous place. It can steal your soul. There's so many times where I've been in Vegas where I'm get me the fuck out of here. I've had enough Vegas. But this is the first time that I can remember in a long time that I've wanted, I was leaving wanting more Vegas. I was having so much fun, and that's the best way to go. That's the best way to go out of Vegas, because Vegas will just rip your soul out. It will crush you. But if you know how to have fun, if you fly, don't be like Icarus and get too close, but if you just fly, at the right, you can have such a great time in Vegas. So that's what we did. I look forward to doing Vegas again. The Sphere, all in all, was just so amazing. Bob Weir, I will stick with Bob Weir for as long as he's out there doing whatever he wants to do, whether it be the Wolf Brothers solo, Dead and Company, Dead Forever, anything. I'm just so happy to be living in a time where I get to be a fan of Bob Weir for as long as I can be, as long as I will be. And so anyway, that is my Vegas trip synopsis. Hope you guys enjoyed listening to that, because I really had a fun time experiencing it and talking about it. Peace out.
Yeah, pants are down, his cover's blown. Rocks are down, his cover's blown. And the politicians throwing stones so the kids they dance, they break their bones. This is all too clear, we're on our own. Singing ashes, ashes all fall down. Singing ashes, ashes all fall down. Right, all the
In the Haight-Ashbury neighborhood of San Francisco stands a modest Victorian townhouse. It is the home of a young psychedelic rock and roll band who call themselves the Grateful Dead. This ragtag group of musicians have amassed an impressive fan base of hippies who seem never to miss one of the group's sprawling improvisational performances. To the faithful followers of this vibrant young band, there is no such thing as too many Grateful Dead shows. It is safe to say that, if given their way, these free-spirited showgoers would prefer the music never stop.